I'm asked all the time, but if someone joins an organization and they're not part of the majority, shouldn't they have to assimilate into the majority culture? Doesn't that just make sense? Here's the thing, the majority isn't assimilating into the majority. The majority is assimilating into a few. Rihanna figured this out back in 2019, and that's when she became a threat to Victoria's Secret. What we call professionalism is built on upper middle class white neurotypical male norms. That's not the majority of workers anymore. It was pre 1964, but it's not anymore. As income inequality rises, there are fewer and fewer people who are upper middle class or upper class. There are more and more people who are working class. And thus adapting to these upper middle class norms becomes less and less of the majority of people. I know white men who are working class or autistic who are tired of professionalism and say it's exhausting. So when someone says they need to fit into our culture, what they're really saying is everyone needs to. So when someone says they need to fit into our culture, what they're really saying is I need everyone to perform like an upper middle class white neurotypical man, even though most of you aren't. And business leaders will say, but we need to unify our organization, and that's why we need a culture. Absolutely. But by that same logic, your cultural norms can be inclusive. And recognizing another group's exists isn't necessarily bad for business. It can even be really good for business. If all of the makeup you're selling is a pale color, you are missing out on most of the skin colors in the world. If all of your lingerie is the same nude color, you are missing out on most of your customers in the world. It's not that we should stop making pale nude lingerie, band-aids, makeup, etc. It's that we should also make them for people who have different shades because those people exist and they're also part of your customer base. In my upcoming book on the Unwritten Rules of Work, I talk about how Rihanna recognized this difference. And I remember working with someone at the time who it was just in passing. I didn't really know her well, but she said, "Is Rihanna a genius? Or did she just figure out that most people who wear lingerie aren't skinny white women?" The same thing applies to workplace norms. It's not that we throw out every convention. The immediate phrase I get from people on here is, but professionalism, okay, so we just aren't respectful to each other? No. But is it respectful to expect everybody to act like you? So it's not that we throw everything out. It's that we expand the definition to work for the people who are actually there. Because what we're doing right now is the professional version of only offering white band-aids by only supporting upper middle class white neurotypical male norms. And everybody else has to translate and adapt. This is what I mean when I talk about the unwritten rules of work. They're not natural or inevitable or biological or inherently better. They're choices, and we can choose differently. So the question isn't should people assimilate? It's why we're asking 80% of people to perform like the 20% they're not. I have a free book chapter linked in my bio. The rest of the book comes out in the fall. Before we wrap up, if any of this resonates with you and you're ready to see how it can be integrated into your work life, you can book with me on my website. If you're not sure where to get started, the first 20 minutes are free, and that's the white button above me. And if you're ready to dive into coaching, click the purple one on the top. I'll put the links in the description of this video.